Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. I am the Kenyan Beast, and this is Neo Africa, where we're telling African stories how it is. Now, as we know, Ugandan election is ongoing. There's a video I've come across of Larry Madowo talking about Uganda and talking about how he talked with Bobi Wine, on what Bobi Wine told him, and what is happening in Uganda. And this is about power, and it's about the illusion of choice. Now, first of all, let's watch this clip from Larry Madowo.
And this time, Bobi Wine is asking Ugandans to cast a protest vote against the authoritarian government of President Yoweri Museveni. The way he sees it, Yoweri Museveni is a dictator who sees Uganda as his personal property and all Ugandans as his slaves. That's exactly what Bobi Wine told me a month ago when I spoke to him. On the same day he was campaigning in the capital, Kampala, he was beaten up. His supporters were tear-gassed. This has been a violent campaign through and through, and that is the backdrop for this election. 2 days ago, the government of Uganda shut down the internet, and the people of Uganda don't have access to the internet as we speak right now. So even getting any voting lines video from Uganda has been difficult, because even the media is having trouble covering this election when they're having to call their reporters on the phone because they can't get any live video from that. The reason the government of Uganda shut down the internet is because they say this is to avoid the spread of misinformation, disinformation, to curb the potential for electoral fraud, and also to avoid any incitement to violence. But this has been criticized by many human rights groups, by the opposition there, as an authoritarian repressive tactic.
Well, and how do we now even know if the elections are fair? Talk about no transparency, cutting down the internet. I mean, how is this election supposed to be credible?
That is the big question here. And Bobi Wine, the opposition leader, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, as he's officially known, has said that all signs point to President Yoweri Museveni rigging this election. He's been in power since 1986. This is his 40th year in power, and he's running for the 7th term. And he does not expect that this election will be credible, free, and fair because of the extreme violence and the tactics used by President Yoweri Museveni. President Yoweri Museveni's government says that protecting the gains, and they have brought Uganda stability and economic growth, and he looks to continue that. But Bobi Wine told CNN a few days ago that if Yoweri Museveni rigs this election, the people of Uganda must rise up to defend their victory. So in the next few days, we'll get to know if he does win, or it's another continuation of Yoweri Museveni's rule for another 5 years, bringing his rule into 45 years. The man is in his 80s now, and the signs of age are starting to show.
Yeah, I mean, he first took office in 1986, the year that I was born, and has been there that whole time.
Welcome back. Now, I hope you are doing great. I hope we are still praying for Uganda. I hope our mind are still in Uganda with our brothers and sisters of Uganda. Yes, Uganda is for Ugandans, we know that, but as the Pan-African community, as Africans youth, as African people, our minds and our prayers are with you, my Ugandan brothers and sisters. As you have heard from Larry Madowo, that video, he talked with Bobi Wine and explains a lot, blah, blah, blah. But Bobi Wine, for understanding that, Bobi Wine is calling on Ugandans to cast a protest vote. I know the voting has ended. I think so, because when people vote in protest, it means they no longer believe the system is fair, but they're still trying to use the last peaceful tool available for them. A protest vote is not about political parties. It's not about policy promises. A political or a protest vote, I can say it is like a cry. It's a cry that says that we are tired, we see what is happening, and we refuse to be silent. And when a government responds to protest votes with violence, with the tear gas, with the beatings, and internet shutdowns, it tells you something, that everything you need to know about how confident they really are. Now, when a candidate campaigns and is beaten, like how it went down during campaigns, that is not security. When supporters are tear gas, that is not security. The voting has ended, and we are waiting to see who will emerge to be the winner of this election. But again, I hope the Ugandans, they went on a protest vote. Now, saying protest vote, we are not saying that we voted for Bobi Wine and voted for Yoweri Museveni, but you voted for the change you are thinking in your mind. But the internet shutdown is what that caused a lot of talk, because this is not just technical issues. It was a government decision. It was about controlling the narrative. And in today's world, the internet is not entertainment. In today's world, I have said that internet, it is documentation. The internet is how people record abuse. It's how ballot irregularities are exposed, because we had a lot of ballot irregularities in Uganda, a lot of delays. I think some regions, they didn't get enough time to vote, or they didn't even vote because, and these regions, people are saying it was the stronghold of Bobi Wine. So when the internet is shut down during an election, one question just must be asked. What are you afraid? What are you afraid that people will see? Let's understand something. Uganda is a country that has been led by NRM and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for a very long time. And being in power for a very long time, the transition is very, very much painful. You want to go? But you are like, God damn it, a little bit. So you are stealing, be there. And when you continue being there, your own people start turning against you. Because what you promise, you cannot deliver all of them. Upon delivering just few and leaving others, it creates rage. And when it creates rage, that's where you see there is a lot of people are demanding for you just to step down, to move out, to give peace, or to give a paveway to other people. And that's what is happening in Uganda. Yoweri Museveni has been in power since 1986. That is 4 decades. 4 decades, 7 terms. An entire generation born, raised, and grown under one ruler. And there are Ugandans who are grandparents today who have never voted for a different president. When government say that we brought stability, the question must come first. Stability for who? Because stability without accountability is not stability. It is stagnation. And one of the most dangerous political movements is when a leader begins to believe that they are the country. You have heard that broadcast from Madowo saying Yoweri has takes the country like his. When criticism feels like betrayal, when opposition feels like treason, when power feels permanent, that is when constitutions get amended and age limit get removed. Term limit disappears, not for the people, but for the ruler. And once leader reaches that stage, election becomes symbolic, not functional. Now, the truth is that many governments don't want to admit is that if you truly trust your people, then you don't need to silence them. If you truly trust your people, you do not need to shut down the internet. You don't need to beat candidates. You do not need to intimidate voters. Some of the candidates were even abducted. They were abducted. And those actions reveal insecurity and not strength. Uganda is young. Africa is young. We are waiting to see what is happening in Uganda. And youths do not carry nostalgia for liberation struggles. They did not experience that one. So they don't care that. The youth, they judge leadership by opportunity. They judge by freedom. They judge by dignity. They judge by future. And when young people start questioning long-standing power, no, something is off. Something is off. Let me say this slowly as we continue to wait for Uganda. When the internet goes dark, it does not mean people agree. It means they are being muted. And history has taught us something important. Muted do not disappear. They remember. Peace out.